Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when the noise of the world becomes too loud, the opinions too heavy, and the expectations too suffocating. We live in an age where everyone wants to be seen, heard, and validated, where people chase approval more than purpose, and comparison has become the thief of not just joy, but identity. In a world constantly telling you who you should be, what you should wear, how you should talk, and even what success should look like, it's easy to lose yourself. But what if I told you that the most powerful thing you could ever do is to reclaim your authenticity? That your strength isn't found in how well you fit into the mold, but how boldly you break free from it. That your light doesn't need permission to shine, and your voice doesn't need validation to speak truth. Because the truth is, there is power in walking your path, even when it's lonely. There is power in becoming your own rescue. There is power in looking in the mirror and finally saying, I am enough. This video is not just another motivational speech. It is a call to those who are tired of pretending, tired of being silent, tired of dimming their light just to make others comfortable. It's for the soul that knows it was made for more, but feels buried beneath self-doubt, rejection, and the weight of unhealed wounds. It's for the woman who's been underestimated, the man who's been overlooked, and the dreamer who's been discouraged. It's for the one who's ready to rise. Throughout this journey, we will dive into the mindset shifts that awaken your inner warrior. We will dismantle the lies you've been told, the fears that have kept you stuck, and the habits that no longer serve your greatness. We'll talk about what it means to truly own your story, to stand tall in your truth and stop apologizing for the fire in your soul. Because when you stop watering yourself down and to fit into rooms that were never meant to hold your power, you finally become unstoppable. So I need you to do one thing. Lean in. Listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. Allow these words to echo through the broken parts of you and begin the healing. Let this be the moment you decided to stop existing and start living. Let this be the chapter where you turned the page and found your strength again. Because if you're brave enough to face yourself, to believe in your worth, and to commit to your growth, then I promise you, everything changes. Welcome to the journey, welcome to the rise, and most importantly, welcome back to you. Let's begin. You feel stuck, and you don't know why. Have you ever had that moment when you're sitting alone, staring at the wall, wondering what happened to me? You used to dream big. You used to believe you were destined for more. But now, life feels heavy, foggy, and you can't quite pinpoint why. You feel stuck, not in one specific place, but everywhere, emotionally, mentally, maybe even spiritually. Your energy is low, your motivation is gone. You wake up each day with a lingering question in your heart. Is this all there is? You're not lazy, you're not weak, you're not broken, you're overwhelmed. And that feeling of being stuck is not a sign of failure. It's a signal that your soul is craving change. It's crying out for alignment. The version of you that you're living right now is not the one your heart knows you were meant to be. Let me be clear. You are not alone. So many people feel this exact way, but are afraid to admit it. They wear masks every day. They smile, they show up, they perform. But deep down, they're disconnected from themselves. You're exhausted, not because you're doing too much, but because you're doing too little of what sets your soul on fire. This is not your end. It's your beginning. You're standing at a crossroad. One path leads to more of the same: numbness, self-doubt, survival mode. The other leads to transformation. It won't be easy. It will require honesty, effort, and courage. But I promise you this: on the other side of stuck is freedom. On the other side of confusion is clarity. And on the other side of fear is your power. You don't have to stay in this space forever. The pain you feel right now has a purpose. It's not here to punish you. It's here to wake you up, to nudge you, to say, hey, it's time to grow. But growth starts with awareness. And if you're listening to this, then you've already taken the first step. You've acknowledged the feeling. You've recognized something's off. That's the door. And now, I want to help you walk through it. So I ask you, is this you? If so, let me help you. Let me guide you through this fog. Let me speak to that version of you who's tired of surviving and ready to start living. You're not meant to stay in one chapter forever. It's time to turn the page. The next chapter? That's where your power lives. Stay with me. Your breakthrough is coming. You're tired of pretending everything's okay. You wake up each morning, put on your best face, and go out into the world pretending like everything's fine. You smile at work, laugh with friends, maybe even post a happy photo online. But deep down, something feels off. You're emotionally drained. It's exhausting pretending that life is smooth when inside, you're barely holding it together. You've become a master of disguise. You know how to hide the tears. You know how to mask your anxiety. You know how to silence the voice inside that's screaming for help. And yet, every time you try to speak up or let someone in, you hesitate. Maybe it's because you've been judged before. Maybe it's because no one took you seriously when you opened up. So instead, you carry the weight silently. This section is for you, the one who's tired of faking strength just to get through the day. You don't have to keep pretending. There's no shame in admitting that you're struggling. In fact, there's power in owning your truth. Sometimes life demands that we be okay, even when we're falling apart. Society tells you to be strong, resilient, and to keep pushing. But let me ask you something. How can you heal if you're constantly pretending you're not hurt? How can you grow if you never admit where you are? Here's the truth. Healing begins with honesty. And honesty doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave. The moment you stop pretending and start facing your pain head-on, something shifts. You begin to reclaim your power. You stop letting the world define your worth and you start showing up for yourself, for real this time. You don't have to suffer in silence and you certainly don't have to be perfect. The truth is, no one has it all together. Even the strongest people break. Even the loudest laughers cry when no one's looking. You're not alone in this. There are others, many others, who feel exactly like you. But they're waiting for someone to say what they're afraid to admit. I'm not okay right now. And that's okay. Give yourself the grace to be human. Give yourself the freedom to breathe, to release, to feel. You've carried this weight long enough. It's time to begin the process of healing, and that begins by dropping the mask. Let this be your first brave step. Stop pretending and start feeling. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to break down. And more importantly, you are allowed to get back up, stronger, wiser, and more whole than ever before. You give so much to others, but forget yourself. Are you the person everyone turns to when things go wrong? The one who listens, who supports, who offers advice and comfort, time after time, no matter how tired or overwhelmed you feel? If so, this section is especially for you. You have a heart that's vast and generous. You give love freely. You carry others' burdens like they were your own. You go out of your way to make sure those around you are okay, sometimes even sacrificing your own needs just to keep the peace or make someone else smile. But here's the painful truth. While you're busy giving to others, you're often neglecting the most important person, yourself. How long has it been since you truly checked in with yourself? When was the last time you sat quietly and asked, "What do I need?" Instead of putting others first, what if you put yourself first? Not selfishly, but intentionally, because you deserve it. This imbalance can drain you emotionally, mentally, and physically. It can leave you feeling invisible, unappreciated, and even resentful. You might think you have to keep giving because if you stop, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. It's okay to say no. It's okay to create boundaries. It's okay to take time to recharge. In fact, these acts are essential for your well-being and your ability to keep supporting others in a healthy way. When you refill your own cup, your light shines brighter. Your love becomes purer. Your energy becomes contagious. You may fear disappointing people or being seen as selfish, but let me assure you, prioritizing yourself is an act of strength and wisdom. When you honor your own needs, you send a powerful message, not only to yourself, but to those around you, that your well-being matters. It's time to rewrite the story you've been living. You are not just a giver, you are a whole person worthy of love, care, and attention. You deserve rest without guilt, joy without explanation, and space to heal without apology. Remember, helping others is beautiful, but not at the expense of losing yourself. When you take care of your mind, body, and soul, you create a foundation so strong that you can uplift others without burning out. So start today. Look in the mirror and say, I matter. My needs matter. My health matters. Begin setting small boundaries, saying no when you need to, and carving out moments just for you. Your future self will thank you. Your capacity to love and give grows exponentially when you nurture yourself first. Let's make that a priority, because the best version of you is waiting on the other side of self-care. You constantly second-guess yourself and your decisions. Do you ever find yourself stuck in a loop of doubt, where every choice you make feels like a test, and you're terrified of failing? You replay conversations in your head, analyze every word, and wonder if you said the right thing or made the right decision. If this sounds like you, know that you're not alone. Second-guessing yourself is a silent thief of peace and confidence. It sneaks in, making you question your worth, your judgment, and your path. You worry about what others will think, about making mistakes, or about not living up to expectations. And the more you doubt yourself, the more paralyzed you become. But here's the truth. No one gets it right all the time. Life isn't a perfectly drawn map. It's a messy, unpredictable journey filled with wrong turns and learning curves. The people you admire, the ones you think have it all together, they've had their fair share of doubts and missteps too. Second-guessing often stems from fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It's normal to feel uncertain, but letting that fear control your decisions only keeps you stuck. It robs you of your power to move forward and grow. What if you made peace with uncertainty? What if you embrace the idea that you're human and that's okay? That every wrong choice is just a stepping stone toward wisdom. Instead of obsessing over being perfect, start focusing on being progressive. Taking imperfect action is better than being paralyzed by doubt. You have a unique voice, a unique perspective, and a unique life to live. The world needs you to trust yourself more, to listen to your intuition, to honor your feelings even when logic seems to say otherwise. Learning to trust yourself is a process, a muscle that needs practice. Start small. Make a decision today without overthinking it. Trust that you will handle whatever comes next. Give yourself permission to make mistakes and grow from them. And remember, confidence isn't about never doubting. It's about continuing despite the doubts. It's about standing up after every fall and telling yourself, I've got this. You're more capable than you realize. Your instincts are stronger than your fears. And your life will bloom once you stop questioning your every move and start believing in the power of your own choices. So if you find yourself doubting right now, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that your best is enough. Every step you take forward, even the shaky ones, is progress. And progress is what leads to transformation. You feel like everyone is moving forward, but you're stuck. Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else is moving forward, their careers advancing, relationships flourishing, dreams coming true, while you remain frozen in place? Like life is passing you by, and you're left wondering, why am I still here? What's wrong with me? This feeling is more common than you think. It's a deep ache of comparison, of frustration, and sometimes even self-judgment. You watch social media updates, hear about others' successes, and it feels like you're the only one standing still. But here's a truth many forget. Progress is not always visible. Growth happens in seasons. Some are loud and fast. Big promotions, new relationships, exciting adventures. Others are quiet and slow, healing wounds, learning patience, building inner strength. Just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean you're not growing. You're evolving in ways that can't always be measured or displayed. Feeling stuck often means you're in a phase of preparation, a time to rest, reflect, and realign. It's okay to pause and take a breath before the next big leap. The world glorifies hustle, but sometimes your soul needs stillness. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Their path isn't your path. Their timeline isn't your timeline. What's happening inside you, though invisible, is building a foundation for a future that will surpass what you imagine. Also, being stuck can be a sign that you're waiting for permission. Permission to pursue your dreams, permission to change, permission to take risks. But the only permission you need is your own. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What scares me about moving forward? What belief is holding me back? Your feelings of stagnation are a signal, not a sentence. They're your inner self telling you to pause, reassess, and prepare. And when you're here, ready, you will move forward with more clarity, confidence, and purpose than ever before. Remember, the caterpillar seems still and vulnerable before it becomes a butterfly. Your stillness is your transformation in disguise. So if you're feeling stuck today, take heart. You're not alone. You're growing quietly. And when the time is right, you'll take off, stronger, wiser, and ready to soar. You feel like you always have to be the strong one. Are you the person everyone counts on? The reliable friend? The supportive partner? The go-to family member? Who always has it together? The one who's expected to be strong, brave, and unbreakable? If so, this part is for you. Being the strong one sounds admirable, and it is. But here's the problem. Strength is often misunderstood. It's not about never feeling pain or never needing help. True strength lies in being real, in showing up with all your vulnerabilities, fears, and imperfections. You've learned to carry burdens silently because you believe you have to. You push your feelings aside because you think others need you more than you need yourself. You hide your struggles because you don't want to burden anyone or seem weak. But here's the truth. Being strong doesn't mean you have to carry everything alone. In fact, true strength is knowing when to ask for help. It's giving yourself permission to rest. It's recognizing that your worth is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how honestly you live. Sometimes, the strongest people are the most exhausted. They hold tight to their roles, but inside, they crave relief. They fear vulnerability, because society has taught them that showing emotions equals weakness. But it's the opposite. Vulnerability is courage. It's the gateway to healing. It's the bridge to authentic connections and deeper self-awareness. When you let your guard down, you create space for growth, love, and support. If you feel like you have to be strong all the time, ask yourself, who holds space for you? Who listens when you don't have the energy to be the strong one? Are you giving yourself the same compassion you give to others? Remember, you deserve care just as much as anyone else. Your feelings matter, your needs matter, and your mental and emotional health deserve attention. Being wrong doesn't mean you carry the weight without rest. It means you know when to lay it down and replenish. It means balancing endurance with self-care. It means being human. So today, give yourself permission to be imperfect, to feel overwhelmed, to need help, to say, I'm not okay, and mean it. That's not a sign of failure. That's a sign of incredible strength. You are strong, yes, but you are also beautifully human. And that's exactly how you're meant to be. You hide your pain behind a smile. Have you become an expert at hiding your pain behind a smile? The kind of smile that convinces others you're okay, even when inside you're struggling to breathe. If this sounds like you, it's time to pause and listen. Many of us have learned early on that showing pain or vulnerability is dangerous. We're told to be strong, keep it together, and don't burden others. So we put on a mask, a smile that conceals the storm raging inside. But while that smile may protect you from judgment, it also isolates you. It creates a barrier between your true self and the world. Hiding pain behind a smile doesn't make the pain disappear. In fact, it often makes it worse. The longer you suppress your emotions, the heavier the weight on your heart becomes. It seeps into your daily life, affecting your energy, your relationships, and your happiness. But here's the powerful truth. You don't have to carry your pain alone. You are allowed to show your true feelings. You are allowed to cry, to feel angry, to be vulnerable. When you start expressing your pain instead of hiding it, you open the door to healing. It's scary to let others see your struggles. You fear rejection, pity, or being misunderstood. But real connection only happens when you're authentic. When you let people see the real you, the imperfect, struggling, beautiful human you are, you invite true support and love into your life. Remember, pain is not a weakness. It's a part of being human. It tells your story. It shows your strength. It's the soil from which growth and transformation bloom. So next time you feel like hiding behind a smile, try this instead. Acknowledge your pain. Speak it out loud, whether to a trusted friend, a journal, or even just yourself. Give your feelings space and permission to exist. You don't have to fix everything immediately. Healing is a journey, not a race. But the first step is always honesty. Being real with yourself and others about how you truly feel. You are more than your smile. You are a complex, vibrant person with emotions that deserve to be seen and honored. Let your smile be genuine, not a shield. Let it come from a place of peace and hope, not from hiding. You deserve to live fully, without pretending. Your pain is valid, your story matters, and your healing is possible. You feel invisible, even in a crowded room. Have you ever felt invisible? Like you're in a room full of people, yet no one truly sees you? Like your presence is overlooked, your voice unheard, your worth unnoticed? If this resonates with you, you're not alone. Feeling invisible is one of the most painful experiences a person can have. It's the deep ache of being unseen, unacknowledged, and undervalued. You give so much of yourself, yet it feels like it doesn't matter. You crave connection, validation, and recognition, but somehow it always feels just out of reach. This feeling of invisibility can come from many places: a lack of supportive relationships, repeated rejection, or even internal self-doubt that convinces you that you don't matter. But the truth is, you matter. Your life matters. Your presence is important. Sometimes, the hardest part about feeling invisible is believing that you deserve to be seen. Maybe you've been told you're too quiet, too shy, or not enough. Maybe you've internalized messages that your voice isn't worth hearing, but those messages are lies designed to keep you small. You have a unique light, something only you can offer this world. And when you feel invisible, it's often because you've hidden that light away, trying to blend in, avoid conflict, or protect yourself from hurt. But blending in isn't your purpose. You were made to stand out, to be seen, to be heard, to make an impact. The first step to breaking free from invisibility is to believe in your own worth, even if no one else seems to. Start by affirming yourself daily. I am worthy of attention. I am enough as I am. Next, seek out spaces and people who honor you. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your presence, listen when you speak, and encourage you to shine. Most importantly, give yourself permission to step into the light, even if it feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. Speak up in meetings, share your ideas, express your feelings. Your voice deserves to be heard. Remember, invisibility is a feeling, not a fact. It can change. You have the power to change it. Your story is important, your dreams are valid, and your light is needed in this world. So if you're feeling invisible right now, know this: you are seen by those who matter. And even if the world doesn't always acknowledge you, your value remains unshaken. Rise up, step forward, shine bright, because the world can't afford to miss your light. You're afraid to speak up and show your true feelings. Have you ever held back your true feelings because you're afraid of being judged, misunderstood, or rejected? You keep your thoughts locked inside, your emotions hidden, and your voice silent, fearing the consequences of being vulnerable. If this resonates with you, know this: you are not alone, and your fear is valid, but it's also holding you back. Speaking up is one of the hardest things to do, especially when you've been hurt before or when you worry that others won't accept the real you. You might worry that sharing your feelings will make you look weak or too much. So instead, you choose silence. You bury your emotions deep inside, hoping the pain will fade or that no one will notice your struggle. But here's the truth: silence doesn't heal pain, it hides it. Keeping your feelings bottled up only creates distance between you and others, and even worse, between you and yourself. When you don't express what's inside, your emotions get trapped, and over time, they can turn into anxiety, resentment, or loneliness. You deserve to be heard. Your feelings are important, and your voice matters. Letting yourself be vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of courage and strength. It takes bravery to open your heart, to speak your truth, and to risk rejection in order to be authentic. But it's through this honesty that true connection happens. Connection with others, and most importantly, connection with yourself. Start small. Find a trusted friend, family member, or even a therapist. Someone who will listen without judgment and hold space for your feelings. Practice sharing one emotion or thought that you've kept hidden. Notice how it feels to be heard and accepted just as you are. Remember, you don't have to share everything all at once. Vulnerability is a process, not a one-time event. Give yourself permission to go at your own pace. Also, know that not everyone will understand or respond the way you hope. That's okay. What matters is that you honor your own truth and refuse to stay silent out of fear. Your feelings are valid, and your story deserves to be told. When you find your voice, you reclaim your power. You stop carrying the burden alone and invite healing and support into your life. So if you're afraid to speak up, take this moment as your sign to try, to trust, to risk. You are worthy of being heard. Your authenticity is your strength, and the world is waiting to listen. You're constantly saying yes when you want to say no. Do you ever feel like your mouth says yes while your soul is screaming no? Do you find yourself agreeing to things you don't want to do, just to keep the peace, avoid conflict, or please someone else? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many people walk around wearing a mask of agreement while feeling overwhelmed, stretched thin, and emotionally exhausted on the inside. And if that's you, let me help you. You see, the inability to say no isn't about being kind. It's often about fear of rejection, fear of being judged, fear of disappointing someone. But what about disappointing yourself? What about betraying your own needs and boundaries just to make everyone else comfortable? Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your heart, you are saying no to something that does. You are giving up time you'll never get back, energy you desperately need, and peace that is priceless. You are teaching people that your no doesn't matter. And worse, you're teaching yourself that your own voice isn't worth listening to. But I'm here to remind you of a powerful truth. Your no is sacred. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of self-respect. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your energy, your time, or your emotional bandwidth. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. Boundaries are doors. They let the right people in and keep the wrong situations out. Saying no might feel uncomfortable at first. You might fear backlash, guilt, or judgment. But that discomfort is temporary. The peace you gain from honoring yourself, that's lasting. And the more you say no to what drains you, the more room you create for what fulfills you. Think about this. Every strong, confident person you admire, those who walk in peace and power, they've mastered the art of boundaries. We're not available to everything because they've made a conscious decision to prioritize what matters most. And you can do the same. Start small. Practice saying no without explanation. You don't owe people a full PowerPoint presentation on why you're protecting your peace. A simple, "I'm not available for that," or "that doesn't work for me," is enough. Remember, when you say no to others, you're saying yes to yourself. So ask yourself, how much longer will you betray your own needs for the sake of pleasing others? How much longer will you silence your truth to avoid temporary discomfort? You have the power to change that today. Because your voice matters, your time matters, and most importantly, you matter. You're desperate for validation, but keep getting rejected. Let's be real for a moment. How often do you find yourself posting something on social media and then anxiously checking the likes, the comments, the shares? How often do you speak up in a room hoping someone will nod in agreement or say, "Wow, that's a great point"? It's a quiet desperation, one you don't tell anyone about, but it weighs heavy. You crave validation like oxygen. You want to be seen. You want to be heard. You want someone, anyone, to say, "You matter." But what happens instead? You get silence, indifference, rejection. And each time that rejection hits, it cuts deeper. You start questioning yourself. Am I not good enough? What's wrong with me? Why does no one see my worth? But here's the truth you need to hear. Your worth was never meant to be measured by applause. Your value doesn't rise or fall based on how many people notice you or cheer for you. Validation that comes from others is always unstable. One minute you're a star, the next you're invisible. That's not where your foundation should be. Let me tell you something powerful. When you are desperate for validation, you give away your power. You hand the steering wheel of your life to people who may not even know how to drive. You let them dictate your self-esteem, your self-image, your energy. And most of the time, they're just as lost as you are. Seeking approval from others will always keep you hungry but never full. It's like chasing a mirage in the desert. You see it, you run to it, but when you get there, there's nothing. So what's the solution? You must validate yourself. You must become your own source of approval. You must look in the mirror and say, even if no one claps for me, I will still stand tall. Because here's the twist. When you stop seeking external validation, that's when people start to notice. When you stop trying to pass or prove your worth begins to speak for itself. People are drawn to those who are already complete within themselves. Rejection is not proof that you're unworthy. Sometimes it's redirection. Sometimes it's the universe pushing you to build a stronger core, a deeper sense of self, a more solid foundation. You can't keep placing your identity in other people's opinions. Opinions change. Truth doesn't. If this is you, if you're tired of feeling invisible and rejected, then it's time to reclaim your power. Let their silence be the loudest reminder that your voice must come from within. Validate yourself every day. Speak to yourself with kindness. Choose yourself again and again until it no longer feels like a battle, but a declaration of self-respect. The fear of outgrowing people you love. One of the hardest things you will ever face on your growth journey is realizing that you are starting to outgrow people you love. It's an emotional crossroads where your heart is tied to those who have walked with you for years, but your soul is now leading you in a different direction. This is not about thinking you're better than them. It's not about arrogance. It's about evolution. And sometimes, evolution requires separation. You start noticing things you once ignored. The conversations become shallow. Their mindset feels stuck in circles you've already broken free from. What used to feel like comfort now feels like a cage. And inside you, a quiet voice begins to whisper, "You don't belong here anymore." But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to not stay small just to make others comfortable. Growth demands sacrifice. It demands tough choices. And one of those choices is deciding whether you will continue shrinking yourself to fit in places you've already outgrown, or whether you'll rise into the life that's calling you, even if you must walk alone for a while. When you grow, your energy shifts, your conversations change, your vision expands, and not everyone will come with you. That's okay. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people were part of your journey, but not your destination. They helped you grow to this point, but they cannot help you reach the next level. Don't feel guilty for leaving behind people who refuse to grow. Don't feel ashamed for desiring deeper connections, higher standards, and a purpose-driven life. You're not abandoning them. You're choosing to stop abandoning yourself. You're no longer dimming your light to keep others from feeling blind. You're no longer pouring from an empty cup to fill someone else's. You're no longer compromising your peace to maintain old familiarity. It's painful, it's lonely, but it's necessary. Because if you don't allow yourself to evolve, you'll start to resent the very people you stayed for. You'll feel trapped in a version of yourself that no longer reflects who you're becoming. And eventually, that inner voice that's calling you to rise, it will grow quiet. Not because the calling disappeared, but because you stopped answering it. So if this is you, if you feel torn between love and growth, know this. Real love doesn't ask you to stay stagnant. Real love encourages evolution. And those who truly love you will either grow with you or cheer you on as you grow without them. You owe it to your future self to choose expansion. You owe it to your vision to walk boldly toward it. Even if your heart is heavy, even if the road is quiet, trust that what's ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. Because on the other side of letting go is freedom. And on the other side of freedom is you, fully awake, fully alive, fully aligned. You let people get away with too much. Let's be honest. How many times have you bitten your tongue just to keep the peace? How many times have you swallowed your pain just to avoid conflict, just to be the bigger person? You let people cross lines, bend your boundaries, and disrespect your time and energy. And every time you do, a piece of your self-worth erodes. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. You tell yourself they didn't mean it. You rationalize the behavior of others, hoping they'll one day appreciate your kindness, your patience, your loyalty. But let me tell you something powerful. Being understanding does not mean being a doormat. There's a fine line between compassion and self-betrayal, and too many of you are walking that line silently, bleeding internally while smiling externally. You let people get away with too much because you crave connection. You fear abandonment. You don't want to be seen as difficult. But every time you silence your truth, you reinforce the idea that your feelings don't matter, that your needs are secondary. And here's the harsh truth. People will treat you how you teach them to treat you. When you constantly forgive without accountability, when you allow repeated behavior with no consequences, you're not just being kind, you're being complicit. And over time, this trains people to believe that you'll always be there, no matter how little they give in return. You need to ask yourself, why am I allowing this? What part of me believes I don't deserve better? Because deep down, this isn't just about the other person. It's about the story you're telling yourself. Maybe you were raised to believe that love must be earned through sacrifice. Maybe you were conditioned to believe that being low maintenance is admirable. Maybe you saw people-pleasing modeled for you and now you're repeating it unconsciously. But here's your wake-up call. Why? You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to raise your standards. The next time someone crosses a line, don't shrink, stand firm. Let your silence become boundaries, not submission. Let your absence become the consequence of disrespect. Stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Stop negotiating with those who have shown you they don't value you. You are not responsible for the comfort of those who mistreat you. You are responsible for protecting your peace, your worth, your spirit. So stop letting people get away with too much. The more you respect yourself, the more you will attract those who do the same. You are not difficult. You are not too much. You are someone who finally realized that your kindness should never come at the cost of your dignity. This is your moment to reclaim your power. Are you ready to stop shrinking and start standing? The power of emotional responsibility. Let's talk about something crucial: emotional responsibility. This isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation of inner peace, powerful relationships, and personal freedom. Emotional responsibility means owning your feelings, reactions, and triggers without blaming others. It means saying, I feel this way, and it's my job to understand and manage it. Far too often, we fall into the trap of pointing fingers. They made me feel this. Or, if they hadn't done that, I wouldn't be upset. But here's the truth. No one has the power to control your emotional state unless you give it to them. Taking responsibility for your emotions doesn't mean you condone bad behavior or let people walk over you. It means you refuse to be a victim of your environment. You choose to be the one who responds with wisdom instead of reacting with wounds. You see, emotionally mature people don't lash out when they're hurt. They pause, they reflect, they ask themselves, why did this affect me so deeply? They trace the emotion to its root. Is it rejection? Is it abandonment? Is it fear of not being enough? And then they do the hard work of healing it, not just projecting it onto the people around them. When you start taking emotional responsibility, you step into your power. You stop being manipulated by other people's moods, and you no longer need them to behave a certain way for you to feel okay. You give yourself what you used to beg from others: understanding, acceptance, and calm. And here's something even more powerful. When you show up emotionally grounded, you change the energy of every room you walk into. You no longer match chaos with chaos. You become the eye of the storm. You show others, without saying a word, that peace is possible, even in the middle of conflict. That's a strength that can't be faked. That's what draws healthy people toward you and repels the toxic ones who feed off emotional drama. But emotional responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It means recognizing when you're being passive-aggressive, or when you're avoiding difficult conversations, or when you're bottling things up out of fear. It means being brave enough to say, I need help. I'm feeling triggered. I want to grow through this, not run from it. If you want to level up your life, spiritually, mentally, and relationally, start here. Start with the discipline of emotional self-awareness. Learn how to soothe your own anxiety. Learn how to speak from your healed self, not your hurt self. That is where transformation begins. You're not responsible for what others do. but you are 100% responsible for how you respond. That's where your power lives. And the moment you claim that power, everything changes. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand you. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you found yourself trying to justify who you are, what you feel, and why you've made the choices you've made to people who weren't really listening? People who had already made up their minds about you before you even opened your mouth? People who only ask questions to judge, not to understand? It's exhausting. And the truth is, it's a trap. You don't need to explain your light to those committed to staying in darkness. You don't need to shrink your dreams just so small minds can feel comfortable around you. And you definitely don't need to justify your boundaries, your healing, or your personal growth to people who have no intention of supporting it. Because here's the thing. People who truly care will ask to understand. They'll listen, not argue. They'll respect your silence, not demand your explanation. They'll see your worth without needing a presentation. And the ones who don't, they're not your people. You see, constantly explaining yourself keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. It puts your power in someone else's hands. You're giving energy to people who have no intention of validating you because they're too wrapped up in their own limitations. Stop trying to convince them. Your purpose doesn't need a panel of judges. Your journey doesn't require public approval. Not everyone will get it. Not everyone is meant to walk your path or even understand why you're walking it, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to move in silence. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let your results speak for you. The healed version of you, the one who set boundaries, the one who cut off toxic people, the one who stopped watering dead plants. That version of you doesn't need to over-explain. That version simply lives, grows, and glows. Let this be your reminder. Tara, your life is not a courtroom. You don't need to prove your case. The people who truly matter will celebrate you without a speech. They'll respect your transformation without a timeline. They'll stand with you even when you choose yourself. So next time someone tries to pull you into unnecessary justification, take a deep breath and walk away. Your peace is too expensive to trade for someone's shallow validation. Your time is too valuable to waste explaining your greatness to someone committed to misunderstanding it. Walk boldly in who you are, because your power doesn't come from being understood by everyone. It comes from understanding yourself. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't even understand themselves. There comes a time in your journey when you must understand this fundamental truth. Not everyone will get you. Not everyone will understand your vision, your decisions, or your way of life. And that's okay. The moment you feel the need to constantly explain yourself to people who haven't even taken the time to understand who they are is the moment you lose power. It drains your energy, distracts you from your mission, and keeps you entangled in battles that were never yours to fight. Think about it. How often have you bent over backward trying to convince someone of your worth, your purpose, your decisions? How many times have you tried to make people see your light only for them to dim it with their own shadows of confusion and self-doubt? The truth is, most people aren't rejecting you. They're reacting to what you awaken in them. Your strength threatens their comfort. Your clarity unsettles their chaos. Your growth exposes their stagnation. You don't need to make them see. You don't need their permission. You don't need to shrink your voice so theirs feels louder. You are not responsible for fitting into a world that was never built for your kind of greatness. When you live from a place of purpose, your path won't make sense to people who are still wandering in circles. They'll question your choices, mock your discipline, and label your silence as arrogance. But you must stay rooted. You must stay grounded in the truth that not everything valuable is meant to be explained. Some things are meant to be demonstrated through your actions, your consistency, your results. Protect your peace, protect your energy, protect your mind. You are not obligated to constantly unpack your heart to people who haven't even acknowledged their own wounds. Stop casting your pearls before those who are not ready to receive them. Not because you're better, but because your journey demands a higher standard of focus. You are evolving, you are rising, and as you do, the noise will grow louder, the misunderstanding will increase. That's the cost of growth. But don't let it pull you down. Don't allow the opinions of confused minds to cloud your vision. Stand tall in your truth and walk boldly in your calling. Let your results speak. Let your peace confuse them. Let your silence teach them. Some things don't need a speech, they need execution. Some explanations are better replaced with elevation. You don't have to be understood to be impactful. You want to move forward, but you're trapped in the past. It's a strange place to live, isn't it? The past. You're not physically there, but emotionally, mentally. Some part of you is still stuck in a moment that hurt you, a failure you didn't see coming, a betrayal you never deserved, a love that walked away without warning. You tell yourself you've moved on, but every time something reminds you of it, even a smell, a song, or a memory, you're back there, reliving it, feeling the pain again, and it's exhausting. You want to move forward. You try to move forward, but it feels like your feet are tied to weights of regret, of shame, of what-ifs and if-onlys. You smile for the world, but when you're alone, the past whispers, you're still here. But let me tell you this clearly. You are not your past. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you choose to do after it happened. And if you're watching this right now, if you're still breathing, still fighting, even if you're crawling through the wreckage, that means the past didn't win. You are still here. That means there's still a future worth fighting for. You see, pain has a way of distorting our perspective. It makes you believe that because you failed once, you'll always fail. That because someone left you, you'll never be loved again. That because you were hurt, you'll never heal. But that is a lie born from wounds that haven't fully closed. And you have to stop letting broken moments have that much power over your present. So how do you move forward? First, you must acknowledge the pain without living in it. Don't ignore it. Don't bury it. Face it. Cry if you need to. Scream. Write. Talk. But don't let it rot inside you. Then forgive. Not for them, but for you. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's the courage to set yourself free. Next, reclaim your narrative. Don't let the worst chapter of you or life become the whole book. Pick up the pen, start a new page. Decide today that your story isn't over. It's just beginning. You are not broken beyond repair. You are healing. You are rising. You are growing. And when the past tries to pull you back again, and it will, remind yourself, I am not who I was. I am becoming who I'm meant to be. You're not alone. We've all been there. And we've all had to make that hard choice, to let go of what's behind so we can finally reach for what's ahead. So if this is you, if you're trapped in your past, I'm here to help you break free. It's time. Let go. Move forward. Because your future is waiting and it's brighter than anything you left behind. You are a mirror. You reflect what they're missing. You are a mirror. And that's why some people can't stand to look at you. Not because you've done anything wrong, not because you've crossed a line, but because when they see you, they see the reflection of everything they lack, everything they've suppressed, and everything they've given up on. People project. That's human nature. They throw their insecurities onto others, especially those who stand in the light while they remain stuck in the shadows. And when you walk into a room with confidence, when you speak your truth unapologetically, when you pursue your goals without needing permission, you don't just stand in your own power. You hold up a mirror that forces others to see where they've compromised themselves. You show them the dreams they abandoned, the strength they never developed, the voice they silenced long ago. This is why some people feel uncomfortable around you. Not because you're arrogant or too much or intimidating, but because your existence disrupts their comfort zone. Your light exposes their darkness. And instead of doing the inner work to grow, many will try to dim you so they don't have to face themselves. Don't shrink to fit into spaces that were never built for your light. Don't dilute your presence to ease someone else's discomfort. You are not responsible for managing their projections. Let them be uncomfortable. Let your growth be the alarm clock they've been trying to silence. Let your progress remind them that stagnation is a choice. Let your voice echo in the corners of their soul where they've buried their true desires. You're not hurting them, you're waking them up. But don't expect everyone to appreciate that, because growth, truth, and authenticity are uncomfortable for those who have avoided it. So what do? You stay rooted, you stay true to yourself. You continue to reflect on honesty, power, and purpose, not because it makes others squirm, but because it's who you were born to be. You are not here to make everyone feel safe. You are here to be real. And the right people Those who are brave enough to look in your mirror and accept what they see, those are your tribe. They will not resent your light. They will be inspired by it. They will grow alongside you. They will say, "Thank you for showing me what's possible." Your reflection won't repel them, it will activate them. So let them look, let them feel, let them reflect, and never stop being the mirror that forces the world to face itself. Protecting your vision from dream killers. Not everyone is meant to understand your vision. Not everyone is capable of seeing what you see in your heart, and that's okay. Your dream was given to you for a reason, and it doesn't require validation from anyone else. But here's the truth. If you're not careful, you'll let someone's small mind shrink your big dream. That's why one of the most important steps in your growth journey is learning how to protect your vision from those who try to poison it with doubt. You don't need to explain your plans to everyone. Some people won't get it, not because they're bad, but because their mindset hasn't evolved to that level. They may speak from fear, jealousy, or past disappointments. And if you're not grounded, their words can sound like wisdom, when in reality, they are just masked fear. Dream killers don't always come with malicious intent. Sometimes they wear the face of friends, family, or even mentors. They speak from their own limitations, not your potential. You must become fiercely protective of your ideas. When a seed is planted, it's buried under dirt. It's in darkness before it breaks through the surface. During that time, it's vulnerable. If someone steps on it, it can be destroyed before it ever has a chance to grow. Your dream is the same. In the early stages, it's delicate. That's why you can't share it with just anyone. Speak it only to those who water it, not to those who trample on it with criticism or indifference. There are people who will try to tell you that it's unrealistic, that you're aiming too high, that your background disqualifies you. Don't listen. What they're really saying is they don't believe it's possible for themselves, but you are not them. And your journey doesn't require their approval. Understand this. Your vision is sacred. Guard it like treasure. Invest in it. Nurture it. Fight for it. It's better to move in silence than to expose your dreams to people who don't believe in miracles. If you must walk alone for a while, so be it. The path to greatness is often lonely in the beginning, but it's better to be alone with your purpose than surrounded by people who can't see your light. Build in silence. Rise in silence. Let your results be the announcement. Because once your dream manifests, once your vision becomes your reality, those same people who doubted you will either applaud or envy you. But by then, it won't matter. Because you'll have already become the person who didn't need applause to believe in their own vision. You can't control what others say, but you can control what you accept. One of the hardest but most liberating truths you will ever learn is this. You cannot control what people say about you. You can't control the gossip, the whispers, the judgment, the assumptions. People will say things that are unfair, untrue, and unkind. And sometimes it will come from those closest to you, family, friends, even people you once trusted. But here's the good news. You are not obligated to accept every opinion handed to you. Imagine someone trying to hand you a gift, something you didn't ask for and don't want. You have the right to say, "No, thank you." The same goes for other people's opinions. If someone calls you weak, that doesn't make it true. If someone says you're not good enough, that doesn't define your worth. Just because words are thrown at you doesn't mean you have to carry their weight. This is where your real power lies, in your response. Not in the noise of the world, but in the silence of your self-belief. You control what you internalize. You decide which voices you amplify and which ones you mute. Your peace depends not on what is said about you, but on what you choose to believe about yourself. Don't waste energy trying to chase every lie and correct every false narrative. That's a never-ending battle, and frankly, it's beneath you. People talk, let them misunderstand you, let them misjudge your intentions, let them question your path, because the more you try to prove them wrong, the more you allow their opinions to have power over you. You don't need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't owe your energy to small minds. What you owe is loyalty to your truth, your purpose, and your inner peace. The people who really matter, the ones who see you, who get you, who love you, don't need convincing. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to walk your path anyway. So the next time someone tries to define your worth, remember this. Their opinion is not your reality. Their voice is not your identity. Their judgment is not your destiny. Your identity is rooted in something deeper. It's in your resilience, your character, your ability to rise above. It's in how you keep going despite the noise. That's your truth. That's your strength. So hold your head high. Walk your path with confidence. Let the world talk while you transform. You're not here to please. You're here to grow. And growth is louder than gossip. Because in the end, your silence, your focus, and your results will speak for themselves and silence every lie ever spoken about you. We've walked through some powerful truths in this journey. Truths about why you feel what you feel, why people treat you the way they do, and why your soul has always seemed to shine brighter in rooms where everyone else preferred the dark. If you're still here, it's because you're beginning to understand that your light is not a weakness. It's your most powerful weapon. For so long you may have wondered, why do people get close to me only to pull away? Why do I give so much only to be misunderstood, misused, or even envied? Why does it feel like my love and light make people uncomfortable? And now you know. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because there's something rare about you. You're not like everyone else. You don't just exist. You feel deeply, love hard, speak truthfully, and carry energy that shakes things up. Your empathy, your intuition, your compassion, they're not burdens, they are gifts, sacred gifts. And unfortunately, not everyone knows how to receive a gift that pure without projecting their own darkness onto it. But here's the key. You're not here to shrink just because someone else feels small in your presence. You're not meant to silence your truth so others can remain comfortable in their lies. And you're certainly not meant to dim your light just because someone else forgot how to shine. You attract people who secretly resent your light because your light exposes what they haven't dealt with. Your strength reminds them of their weakness. Your healing reveals their pain. Your confidence triggers their insecurity. That's not your fault. It's their responsibility. Don't you ever carry the weight of someone else's unhealed wounds. The truth is, your light was never meant to be accepted by everyone. It was meant to guide the right people home. Not everyone will celebrate you, but those who are meant for you will never make you feel like you're too much. They'll look at your light and say, "Thank you, I've been searching for this." So keep being exactly who you are. Don't soften your glow to fit in. Don't apologize for your spirit. Don't question your worth because of someone else's inability to receive your love. You were never too sensitive. You were never too emotional. You were never the problem. You were simply someone who was sent to awaken people who weren't ready to wake up. Let them go. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip, envy, criticize, or withdraw. Your light will never be defined by those who choose to close their eyes. And when they do finally open their eyes, if they ever do, they'll remember the glow that once stood beside them. They'll remember the warmth they walked away from. They'll remember the light they weren't ready for. So here's your final reminder. Shine louder. Stand taller, love deeper. Your light is not a threat, it's a revolution, and the world desperately needs it. Keep glowing, let them feel it.